We are starting a new lesson today. With this new lesson comes some reviewing of the relationships that you know, and not yet. And some of these are new. So I need you to follow along. This is kind of like a fun color-in thing. So if you like to color while I'm talking, but listening at the same time, it's kind of, sort of. Okay? So, but here's the thing. I whited out some important information on here because I want you to draw it yourself. I think if you remember it better, you will remember it better if you draw it yourself. So the first important thing we're learning is called a transversal. Transversal. It is a line that intersects two or more lines at different points. So here are these two lines, and there's a line that intersects both of them at different points. So this line right here, the only one that's going vertical, this is called a transversal. Oh, good. It's called a transversal. Okay, now when you have a transversal line that cuts these two, the relationships that their angles have are very important for us to know. So the first word is corresponding. Have you heard of this before?
Yes.
Okay, some of you might want two different colored pens because each of these relationships only has two angles. However, we can find two angles in different spots that they are the same, if that makes sense. I'll explain better in just a second. So corresponding angles, let me just show you an example. Corresponding is on the same side of the transversal, but in corresponding positions. So here's one and here's one. So wherever I just put a yellow dot, those angles are corresponding. Yes?
So why would we have two different colors?
I'll tell you, because these two are corresponding to each other. Okay, so if this, and when they're corresponding, it means they are congruent. So if this angle right here is 110 degrees, then this one down here is also 110 degrees. However, the reason you have another color is because this angle and this angle are also corresponding. But they're not corresponding with the other ones, if that makes sense. So the yellow and yellow together are corresponding, and blue together are corresponding. If you don't have another color, on the blue one, put an X to signify that you know those are a different set. Does that make sense? Okay. Now you also have some over here. Your corresponding angles could be on this side. You could have one here and one here. And I'm running out of... Okay, Jay, if you want to turn the light off, you can. So y'all can see my colors. So I really have four different sets of corresponding. Yellow and yellow, blue and blue, red and red, light blue and light blue. I feel like I've confused your picture now. So know that corresponding, they're on the same side of the transversal, but they're in the same position on the other line. Okay, we're going to practice. Don't touch your Skittles yet. Don't touch them. Okay, next you have alternate interior. These angles are also congruent. However, they are on opposite sides of the transversal, but inside the two lines. So now these two angles are on the inside of the parallel lines, but they're on opposite sides of the transversals. So if this angle is 70 degrees, guess what this angle is? Good. There's only one other pair of alternate interior in this example, and this one goes with this one. Okay, just like you have alternate interior, you also have alternate exterior, which is basically the same thing. They're on opposite sides of the transversals, but they're on the outside of the two lines. So both of them are opposite and on the outside. So we have two sets, and those are also congruent to each other. So if this is 120 degrees, so is this. Now, if this line right here, these two angles together, they're not congruent, you'll learn what they are in a few minutes. But if one's 120, what do these two make? 180. So if this is 120, what's the blue? And if this one is alternate exterior to this one, then they're both. So we're going to use those types of relationships to figure out things we need to know. This is a review. You know supplementary angles are 180 degrees. So supplementary can be, there's actually 8 on here. So I'm not going to list all 8. But these two together, they're not congruent, but they add to equal 180. So those two are supplementary. These two are supplementary. Couldn't I go sideways as well? Couldn't I say this one is supplementary with this one? Okay, so it's whenever there's two that make 180. The next one is no stranger either. Vertical. Vertical angles are always what? Congruent. So here's a vertical, here's a vertical. These two are vertical. So there's 4 different sets of verticals here. Okay, there's one more. It's called consecutive. And honestly, to me, the two that confuse me the most that I get like mixed up on are consecutive and corresponding. Why? Because they both start with a C. Okay? That's just the reason that I struggle with these. But consecutive is back to back. That's what I try to tell myself. So if this is right here, then it is consecutive with this angle. It's back to back with this angle. Now the relationship between these add to equal 180 degrees. So if this one is 50 and I know they're consecutive and they have to equal 180, then this one is 130. They're consecutive. There's also one other pair that's consecutive, this one and this one. So together they equal 180. Here's my trick I use for consecutive and corresponding. So if here, you don't have to draw this on your paper, but if here are 2 parallel lines and a transversal, and I have corresponding, which is here and here, cor, C-O-R, you make a line and then you go over that. That reminds me of an R. So that's how I use that to remember corresponding. This, I know they're back to back, so they're consecutive, one after the other. Does that make sense? Okay, now, you need to keep this on your desk. Jay, will you turn the light on for a few minutes? Okay, have this out on your desk. And then, no one has used this paper, so it has not been used. Pour your Skittles out right here. Do you have 4 sets of different colors? Like I have 2 yellows, I have 2 purples, I have 2 reds, but that's it. Do you have any like that? Can you make 4 sets of different colors? If you can't, come here. No, better. Okay, so you all have 4 different sets of 4 different sets of different colors. Okay, what I want you to do, you can. I mean, I guess doesn't matter. What I want you to do is I want you to show me 4 sets of corresponding angles. Now, the angles that are corresponding need to have the same color. Go. Okay, Ashanti, tell me 1 set of corresponding angles. Oh, I'm sorry, Ashanti. I didn't know you were sick. I'll move on to someone else. Christian. 1 and 5. Jalen. 2 and 6. Jay. 3 and 7. James. Good. Alright, clean your slate. Show me 4 sets of vertical angles. Vertical angles. Madison, tell me 1. 1 and 4. Marshall.
5 and 8.
Zach.
3.
Lily. Good. Okay, clear your slate. Let's move on to 2 sets of consecutive. 2 sets of consecutive. Kalia, tell me 1. 4 and 6. Good. James, I'm already calling you.
Yep.
Lakeland. 3 and 5. Good. Clear your slate. Are those the only ones that are consecutive? Yes, they are. Clear your slate. Okay. Find 2 pairs of alternate interior. I don't know. If not, you need to do that.
I don't think I can. I was going to ask about
Can you not?
can I get up to work on it?
You can't take it home. You have to- you have to- Alternate interior. Melody, tell me 1. Taylor. Is that it? Yes, it is. All right. 2 pairs of alternate exterior. Alternate exterior. Maddie, tell me 1.
2 and 7.
Clara, tell me another. Okay. Now clear your slate. Show me 4 sets of supplementary angles. 4 sets. Okay, Micah, tell me one. Cesar, tell me another.
7 and 8.
Hmm? Zach. Madison. Okay? Do y'all all do this one? Find me 4 more. Did you do it opposite of me? Taylor. If you did these 4, find 4 more. I mean, you can use these same Skittles. But swap it. Because can't you just do this? Can't you go sideways too? Right? You see what I'm doing? Have we done all of them now? Cool. Awesome. Thank you for participating in Miss Jenkins' first grade lesson. You may enjoy your Skittles. Okay, now, Jay, lights please. Now you need your packet. Please pick them up. Yes? Okay, so here we go. Tomorrow when you come in, I'll probably go over your homework with you, and then I'll give you your test, and then I'm going to give you a review of this same stuff. So, it's a fun review actually. It involves coloring. Okay, so here we go. Most of this you've already learned. There's just a there's one concept we have to go over. Parallel lines, you know they are lines that do not intersect. These arrows, whenever you see an arrow on each of these lines, that is the symbol for being parallel. So if you see arrows, that means they are parallel. So line LK or JK is parallel to line LM. Okay, now there's this word. It's kind of a weird word. It's called skew. Skew. There's 2 things that make a line skew. If it does not intersect another line, and if it is not coplanar. So 2 things we have to look for each time. Does it intersect? Is it coplanar? So on these questions down here at the bottom, answer number 1. Tell a segment, actually there's 4, name 4 segments that are parallel to DM. Write them on your paper. All right, one was CL. EN. Does it matter if I put EN or NE?
No.
What's another one? AJ and BK. Good. Those are all parallel to DM because they're all going straight up and down. Okay, now 2. Name a plane that's parallel to plane ACD. Well, if this is plane ACD, isn't it intersecting all these beside it? So the only one that's parallel is this one down here. How many points names a plane?
3.
3. Any 3. I could have said JKL. You could have said NML, and it'd still be right. Okay? All right, 3. Those 2 were a review. 3. Name a segment that is skew to BC. So check your 2 things. Is it coplanar? Does it intersect? A-L.
KL.
Oh, K-L. That's coplanar. That can't be scoop.
Oh, it can't.
It can't be on the same plane, and it can't intersect. N-M. Mm-hmm. There's multiple. Do what? Because it's on the same plane.
EG.
What about JK?
EG's on the same plane.
JK.
NJ. NJ. JK. ML. So it can't be any of these up top because those are all on the same plane. It can't be any of these because it's on the same plane. And it can't be DC or AB because they intersect. Other than that, it's free game. I think there were actually a couple more. Help me find more.
AJ.
AJ.
EN. You guys said that. It's not right there.
EN. NM. What about DM?
No.
You can't do ED, can't do DC, can't do CL. I did ML. Good, that's enough. Okay, 4. Name the planes intersecting plane EDM. So here's EDM, the plane. How many planes are on each side of it?
1, 2, 3. 4.
4. Top, bottom, side, side. So you should name all 3 of those because they're all intersecting the plane. So you should name 4 planes. Go. I meant 4. Maddie, name the top plane for me.
EGC.
Abby, name one of the sides. Over here. We're trying of this one. Name a plane beside this one.
8.
Good. April, name this plane. What did you say? CDL? DCL. Okay. And then the last one is the bottom, so you could just say JNM. Okay, I want you to try 5. It's a segment that is SCU to AE. I like that word, SCU.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Name a segment SCU to AE.
Ashanti said, so it's, okay.
Okay, I want you all to list them. Go. 5. There should be 1, 2. No, don't call them out. List them. There should be
7.
But I gotta list all of them?
This is a segment.
I am telling you, thank you very much, I am telling you to list all 8. Go. Is there 8?
I got 6. I got.
I'm only finding 7. Let's go over them. You too, Ashanti?
Again, I could have like thought one.
Okay, if this is AE, can't use AJ, can't use EN, can't use this bottom one. Can use NM, can use DM, you can use ML, can't use DC, you can use CL, you can use KL, you can use BK, can't use any of these top ones, then you can use the bottom. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can't use AB. Can't use AB because it's on the same plane. Can't use AJ because it intersects. Here's the 7 I got. Okay, the bottom fill in the blank word, because I know some of y'all love to fill them in. You actually already know it. What is it? Transversal.
You put the emphasis number 5 next to
Oh, man. That's a good one, too. Okay, let's do 6. A segment skewed to CL, 3-point E. Isn't there 3?
Does it has to go through point E?
Uh-huh. D-E, A-E, and what? E-N? Yeah. Okay, the back, promise done, because you already know all this right here. So we're skipping all this. You can look over it if you want, but you already know that, okay? So do you need to find? Transversal. It's the bottom. Okay, this right here. I want you to first of all number it 1 through 10. So go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Look at these angles and tell me whether they're alternate interior, alternate exterior, corresponding, or consecutive. Your shortcuts can be Alt-Int, Alt-X, core, or consecutive. That's a shortcut.
Do you have to do the identifiable?
Yeah, I want you to try to identify the transversal. So look at 4 and 9. What transversal are those two on? S. And then what are they? Corresponding? Yeah. Okay, finish through 10. Check 1 through 5 when you're done with that. Because they're on the inside of the lines. You see line R and S? They're on the inside and they're opposites. So it's alternate interior. Okay, here are all my answers. Check yours. I do, for homework, I want you to finish the whole next sheet. It is 16 questions, which y'all just did 10 that quickly. So, yes, I want you to do the whole thing. No, it's not that bad once you actually read it, okay? It's not like solving equations. It's just naming things.